This edition of MacVoices is sponsored by Smile, the makers of PDF Pen, PDF Pen Pro, PDF Pen for iPhone, PDF Pen for iPad, PDF Pen Scan Plus for iPhone and iPad, Text Expander Touch, and Disk Label. Find out more about all their great products at smilesoftware.com. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. MacVoices is in San Francisco for WWDC and the AltConf. I'm at Jillian's in the Alt Labs talking to Kyryl of MacPaw about their DevMate product. Kyryl, welcome. It's great to have you.
Hello, good to have you too.
First of all, I want to make sure that everyone knows that you all are helping sponsor the AltConf, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's been a great event, and it's an important event.
Yeah, and they are great guys, and we are very happy to sponsor them because first we are part of communities MacPaw and our software, and the guys are doing a great job here, so that was like a no-brainer. And we are very often talking with Fastbrain, who is also sponsoring them, and they were the first to mention that, and we got into talks immediately, and that's the outcome. And we are very happy to be here and having some workshop here, and Sophia did his speech today, so we are participating as well.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So we talked to MacPaw before with Clean My Mac, with Hyder.
Yes.
DevMate is something a bit different. DevMate is focused on the developer community. What does DevMate do for a developer?
Well, since you mentioned Clean My Mac, DevMate is actually was born in as a Clean My Mac continuation, to say so, in a very different way. Because to launch Clean My Mac and to sell it and to serve it and to analyze the outcome on the marketing, we had to produce a number of internal tools. So we have a special dedicated tool for licensing to make sure everything is solved and we don't have a piracy problem. We have a dedicated tool to analyze our traffic and so on. So at some point we decided that if we have the problem, probably other developers also have the problem. And then we started asking around and thinking what to do with that. And the DevMate is, in essence, a combination of our own internal tools used to sell, to protect, and to analyze Clean My Mac. And so now we are kind of holding the presentation. DevMate is almost launched. It is ready. We are now launching a private beta for companies like ourselves who would like to know more about their applications, make them better, and sell them, because Clean My Mac cannot be sold on the Mac App Store, as you probably know that. Sure. So that's why we had to come up with a set of technical tools which basically cover what Mac App Store covers for most applications. So we have our own hosting, we have our own crash reporting, we have our own licensing system, and basically for every company which wants to break free from the Mac App Store, we can provide a service which helps them to not develop all those things again. And we had a great backend for every one of those. So it's great for every Mac developer who wants to sell outside the Mac App Store or already selling outside the Mac App Store and want to know more about their application, how it's sold, and analyze the data and so on.
So I love it. You saw a problem within that you were having yourselves, and you solved it for yourself, and you solved it for others, and then are willing to share it. I mean, it's obviously a product, so you can't give it away because it takes time to develop.
Sure, it is.
What kind of pricing is there for this for the devs who want to take advantage?
Well, we were thinking a lot about that because first we wanted to make it really affordable for every developer out there. And then we started thinking about the like a pricing scheme, what plans we can offer. And that was very hard because first, everybody needs something slightly different. And it's very hard to like, okay, we can offer this, but they will need this and they will pay. So, and I personally don't like a sophisticated pricing structure. Like, you know, when if you are having this and this application, you're going to be paying this and this amount for this and this time. I don't like that. And what we were coming up with was very simple to that very sophisticated structure. So then we decided to go from a different way. And we decided to align success, to say so. So we talked to Fastbrain and we came up with a pricing structure which allows us to charge 2% of the developer's revenue and just provide all our services with no limitation to that developer. So it's as simple as it could be. You start using DevMate and you pay 2% of whatever sales you have for applications running DevMate. And for that, you have everything. We host your application binaries, we do analytics, we track everything, we track your crashes, we analyze customer feedback, and so forth and so on. So this is as simple as that can be at the moment.
And it sounds like, from what I know of the pricing of such things, it sounds like it's very competitive.
It is, but, well, we were already hearing, like, okay, why is not flat pricing, or how does it work so little, or why is not free to say so, yeah? But I think that, yes, we could come up with a flat pricing, but applications are very different. And, for example, on expensive month, we can pay thousands of dollars for hosting only, and it's very hard to say, okay, pay us like $199 a month and we will provide everything, but that's impossible. That's economically impossible for us as a service. But if we want to charge everyone $1,000, not every developer can afford that, and we would like to be affordable to anyone. So yeah, at the point we decided that whatever your position in the market, we will be economically viable. This is basically like e-commerce provider takes his own cut and we take our own cut. And for what we provide, this is a very small amount to pay. Because if you compare to Mac App Store, for example, they take a 30% cut, and DevMate with any e-commerce is basically less than 10, and in most cases a lot less than 10. And what you get in the end is pretty much the same. You don't have to set up everything. You don't have to think about your hosting fees. You don't have to think about how do I protect or how do I deliver my updates. And so we cover all that. And the e-commerce covers the sales part. And you basically have the same number of services as you get in the Mac App Store, but for a lot less. And we can provide much bigger insight on your marketing because, unlike in the App Store, we know everything about your traffic and everything about the application. And we know the AdWords, for example, is possible with this because you can see which campaigns are giving you profit and which campaigns are not giving you profit. And you can measure that by the revenue. So say, okay, this campaign is very good converting, but it's very little traffic. But this campaign is very bad converting, and we pay a lot for that, and we can turn off. So we use that on our own every day, along with Google Analytics for sure. But Google Analytics is great for website. It's very bad for the application. It's so many implications. We have a dedicated person in the company who just handles Google Analytics, which is something which most companies cannot afford. And while building DevMate and its dashboard and analytic reports, we were thinking about the regular person who just wants to know what's happening with their application. So we try to provide information in an understandable and human way, to say so. So you kind of look at that and say, okay, I've got 10,000 people using my applications for this month, and out of those 10,000, 9,000 came from there, 1,000 came from there. And I have like 100 users doing that every day, but majority of my users are using my application weekly, and so on. And we try to make that as simple as possible, and to receive all that, you kind of need to spend like half an hour tops, because as our developers were trying to tell me how it works, you have to spend like 10 minutes per framework to integrate it. That's very simple. And anybody who used like Flurry Analytics or TapStream or whatever, they're pretty familiar with that. It's nothing so hard. But the trick is on the back end. We collect a huge amount of data, we analyze that, and we present it in a human way. And on the way, we also, as I mentioned, we host the application, we receive everything which comes, and we kind of have the 99 and 9th availability because we use Amazon. So developers don't have to worry about that, same as they don't have to worry about the Mac App Store when they are selling through there. And as we say, like, there is life outside the Mac App Store. This is like a motto for WWDC. Because what we've been hearing is there is a trend right now. A lot of people are not satisfied with whatever Mac App Store gives them, and they're trying to find a way to break out from there. And DevMate is a perfect match here because in a matter of days, you can be selling outside. It's very easy to find an e-commerce solution right now, and we recommend FastSpring because they are great guys, and as it appears, the majority of great Mac software are using them as an e-commerce provider, and DevMate is tightly integrated. So if a Mac developer considers breaking out from the Mac App Store, they have to sign up with DevMate, sign up with FastSpring, and that's it. In half an hour, you're good to go. So we try to make it, again, as simple as possible, as complete as possible, and as hassle-free as it's only possible.
It sounds like a great service option for folks that don't want to go to the Mac App Store. Where, if I'm a developer, do I go to find out more about DevMate and maybe sign up?
That would be devmate.com right now, and we are now accepting preliminary signups, and we'll be selecting a couple of companies to participate in our private beta and rolling out it to more and more companies as we go. But DevMate will always be on the, how can I say it right, like a selective basis. We will not be accepting everyone and anyone in because we want to keep it free from, malware and stuff like that. So we will not be definitely as picky as the Mac App Store,
sure,
but we would definitely like to sell and to keep the great software for guys who understand the meaning of data, the importance of data, and so on. So you're good to apply, basically, but I cannot tell right now like when will more applications be reviewed and that in. But in the meantime, we are working to roll out the complete service to anyone that's possible.
I should have said this at the top of the show, but I'm also very impressed with MacPaw because you all have been, you come to Macworld, you come over for WWDC AltConference, you're sponsoring AltConference, and you come from Ukraine. So it's not like you come around the street. So thank you for everything you're doing, and best of luck with DevMate.
Thank you so much. And about MacPaw, I'd like to take a minute to kind of advertise. We're now working on the Clean My Mac update, and I think that it's gonna be around the same time as the updated Yosemite macOS 10. And you should look out to that because we've got great stuff there as well. We're working full steam, and all the Clean My Mac team is currently on the WWDC on the lab, so they're learning about the Yosemite, and it will be fully compatible and very good looking because I've already seen that, as always, from MacPaw. So that's going to be great as well, and we probably see you next Macworld, so have your chance to take an interview about the Clean My Mac 3.
I hope so. So.
Sure.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. That was great.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. We are at WWDC and AltConference in San Francisco, and we will be back with more. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, app.net, Google+, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date with all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at MacVoices.com/newsletter. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at BackbeatMedia.com.